Welcome and good morning. I'm going to be taking a look at the readings for the Tuesday of the 13th week in Ordinary Time. Readings are going to be from Genesis and also from Matthew. So let's see what we got waiting for us today. The first reading is from Genesis 19:15 through 29. As dawn was breaking, the angels urged Lot on, saying, "On your way! Take with you your wife, your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away in the punishment of Sodom." When he hesitated, the men by the Lord's mercy seized his hand and the hands of his wife and his two daughters, and led them to safety outside the city. As soon as they had been brought outside, he was told, "Flee for your life. Don't look back or stop anywhere on the plain. Get off to the hills at once, or you will be swept away." "Oh, no, my lord," Lot replied. "You have already thought enough of your servant, to do me the great kindness of intervening to save my life. But I cannot flee to the hills to keep the disaster overtaking me, and so I shall die. Look, this town ahead is near enough to escape to. It's only a small place. Let me flee there. It's a small place, is it not? That my life may be saved." "Well, then," he replied, "I will also grant you the favor you now ask. I will not overthrow the town you speak of. Hurry, escape there. I cannot do anything until you arrive there." That is why the town is called Zoar. The sun was just rising over the earth as Lot arrived in Zoar. At the same time, the Lord rained down sulphurous fire upon Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of heaven. He overthrew those cities and the whole plain, together with the inhabitants of the cities and the produce of the soil. But Lot's wife looked back, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham went to the place where he had stood in the Lord's presence. As he looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah and the whole region of the plain, he saw dense smoke over the land rising like fumes from a furnace. Thus it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he was mindful of Abraham by sending Lot away from the upheaval, by which God overthrew the cities where Lot had been living. The Gospel is from Matthew chapter 8, verses 23 through 27. As Jesus got into a boat, his disciples followed him. Suddenly a violent storm came upon the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by waves. But he was asleep. They came and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us! We are perishing." He said to them, "Why are you terrified, O you of little faith?" Then he got up, rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was great calm. The men were amazed and said, "What sort of man is this, whom even the winds and the sea obey?" Wow. So we have some very interesting readings. In the first reading, we have Lot, who Abraham has worried about so much. And God tells Abraham, "I'm going to rid the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah because they are so evil." And Abraham, pleads. We don't get that in this reading, but Abraham pleads, "Please, please, what if there is, 150, 10, you know, are you going to kill them?" And God's like, "No, I will not kill them." So God sends angels to Lot and gets Lot out of town and gives him orders, and then Lot barters. And unfortunately for Lot and for his wife, Lot's wife does not heed their commands, and she looks back and gets turned into a pillar of salt. And in the gospel, we have Jesus and the disciples. They get on a boat, and a big storm comes, and they start worrying and freaking out and like, "Jesus, save us! We're perishing!" And Jesus is like, "Oh, you of little faith, why are you worried?" And I find myself, it seems like I'm a lot like Lot. I'm a lot like the disciples. I worry when I shouldn't have to worry, really. I should have faith in the Lord that He is going to take care of me. As long as I stick to God, His will, His love, and His way, and I stick to Him, I will be fine. But, all too often I freak out like the disciples, and sometimes I'm even like Lot and I try to barter, instead of just following. Lot didn't have the faith of, you know, okay, I'll go into the hills like the angels ask. He's like, hey, let me go to this little town, you know. Uh, and even his wife didn't have faith. She didn't want to heed the words of the angels. She turns around and gets turned into a pillar of salt. How much do we leave on the table? How much are we missing out upon because we don't follow God's way? For a long time I didn't follow God's way, and I followed my own way because I wanted to be happy. We all want to be happy, right? And so I didn't follow God's way so I could be happy. And guess what? I turned out not being really happy because there was a great lack of love in my life. There was love in my life, but there was a great lack of it. And I've learned that true love brings true happiness. But I was only loving myself. And I loved others, but not completely, not the way God calls us to. I did not love God the way He called me to. So as I go forward into this day, reflecting upon these readings, I'm reminding myself to take a deep breath, and to just love and trust in God. And if life throws me a curveball, know that God has already seen it coming, and He's got it under control. And He's got it under control for me. That's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share if you want to. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree with anything that I'm saying. I'd really enjoy to hear what you might have to say or be thinking or whatever. But remember, as always, God loves you. I love you. And have a blessed day.